Thank you very much, Professor Cengiz. General Adnan Tanrıverdi, the chairman of ASSAM Executive Board, and the participants of the Congress, I salute you with love and respect. As Professor Cengiz said, we exceeded our time, so I'm skipping my intro and I'm starting the session right away. The first speech is going to be delivered by Professor Ahmet Ojli Abdulwahid, and he's going to talk about military bases in Islamic countries. Professor Ojli, Professor Abdulwahid, are you with us? I think he is not connected now. He was online. Well, if you like, we can move on with the next speaker and we could basically give him the floor when he reconnects. So, there's a technical problem with Professor Abdulwahid. So let me introduce the next speaker, the Associate Professor Admir Mulla Osmanovic, joining from Bosnia and Herzegovina. He's going to talk about an ideal defense organization model for Confederation of ASRICA Rapid Intervention Forces. That is the title of speech. Again, I'm being warned by the technical team. Okay, I think we are moving on with fourth speaker. I'm sorry again. Let me just share an information that I received. Associate Professor Mehmet Naci Efe, he has health issues, just urgent health issues now. He was going to talk about analysis of the defense industry of Islamic countries and the policies that need to be established. These presentations are going to be on the webpage of ASSAM, so you're not going to be missing them as information. So, we also would have Hossam Rashid Hadi AL-RUBAİE from Iraq. He had an accident and he's hospitalized. He was hospitalized, and I wish him quick recovery. And I would expect, ask for prayers from you. Hossam Rashid AL-RUBAİE had sent a video. He is in hospital, and I'm wishing him a quick recovery, but we will be following the video that he sent.
نتقدم بالشكر الجزيل والامتنان لإدارة المؤتمر الرابع للوحدة الإسلامية وكل القائمين على الأعمال. يسعدني ويشرفني أن أحدثكم اليوم في محور يعتبر من أهم المحاور في عصرنا الحاضر. سأحدثكم عن مشروع لنظرية جيوبوليتيكية إسلامية. في البداية يجب أن نعلم أن المعرفة تسخر الجغرافيا، والجغرافيا تحكم السياسة، والسياسة تكتب التاريخ. لطالما كان الترابط بين هذه الفواعل الثلاثة هو العامل الحاسم الذي يغير ميزان القوى عالميا ويؤثر في إعادة التموقع الحضاري للأمم والدول، لا سيما في مراحل الانعطافات التاريخية العالمية الكبرى التي تظهر فيها انزياحات في مكانة وقوة التأثير للدول، حيث نجد قوى صاعدة تتحدى القوى الرائدة وتحاول إعادة إنتاج قوانين لعبة جديدة تطابق إرادة القوى الصاعدة لتحقق مصالحها وأمنها القومي. ولأن العالم الإسلامي ليس باستثناء من هذه التحولات، فلا بد من أن نضع نظرية أو مقاربة لنظرية جيوبوليتيكية للعالم الإسلامي تمكنه كقوة صاعدة من تحديد أولوياته ومجالاته الحيوية. خاصة أن العالم الإسلامي يمكن أن يبرز.
Ya benim internet çok stabil değil. Beni bağlar mısınız tekrar internete?
يعني من النادر أن تظهر في جغرافيا أخرى، وهي ظواهر فريدة من نوعها لم تجتمع إلا في النطاق الجغرافي الممتد من وسط آسيا إلى سواحل موريتانيا على الأطلسي. وهذه الظواهر هي ممرات النقل البحري الرئيسية، الاحتكام على مخزونات هائلة من الطاقة، وتيارات الإسلام السياسي التي تنشط بكثافة في هذه الجغرافيا. ومن المنطقي أن يكون إنشاء اتحاد كونفدرالي إسلامي طريقا شائكا ومحفوفا بالتحديات لاعتبارات كثيرة، مثل إعادة تموقع عالمي للقوى الاقتصادية والعسكرية، واحتمالية إنتاج عولمة إسلامية مضادة تناهض العولمة الغربية السائدة، إضافة إلى ترابطها الوثيق مع العقيدة العسكرية والبنية الاجتماعية والثقافية لهذه الجغرافيا. يجب أن لا ننسى أن هذه الجغرافيا فيها ارتباط من نوع من الروح المحافظة التي تحاول التصدي للفوضى الناشطة خارج هذا الإقليم، وإمكانية تحول هذه الجغرافيا إلى قلب العالم البديل للقلب الأوراسي، وانعكاس ذلك على إمكانية إنتاج المعرفة محليا باعتبارها أهم عوامل تشكيل القوة في القرن ال21. لذا سنحاول في هذه الورقة البحثية تقديم ملامح لنظرية جيوبوليتيكية إسلامية على شكل دليل لرجال السلطة، يعني أو بشكل أعمق ملخص عما يجب وضعه.
So we need to evaluate this matter from a geopolitical perspective, so that we can understand what agreements need to be made between the countries. There are two important tasks here. First, we need to be given the topics to be studied, and we are able to explain the intertwined matters in a much more clear way. Second, we need to look at the humanities and social sciences, so that we can talk about all the beneficial outputs for the Islamic community. Of course, Islamic world has all the means and opportunities, be it airways, seaways, or land transportation. We are able to say that it can form a geopolitical structure and a political discourse that benefits it. We're talking about the Central Asia to all other oceans. That's why we can keep the trade and other resources under our hand. What does geopolitical mean to start with? Well, there are many laws concerning, many facts concerning geopolitics, as in other humanities. So an analysis-based interpretation of the state, taking into account its internal and external potential to achieve high targets, and including the geographical tenets into the decision-making processes. Of course, the geography plays an important role in international relations as a pressure instrument. It contributes to the affairs of the state. Geopolitics, of course, has an influential role. And here there are fixed issues and versatile ones. Here's resources and social infrastructure does not change, but we can talk about the military, economic power, and other topics that can be changed quickly. So what are the important geopolitical factors of the Islamic world? We talk about 232 million square meters of land. When we look at the Islamic geography, so this geography presents a land mass of 168,000 square meters and 1.2 million square miles can be measured in sea area. We are talking about 52 countries. Of course, 24% of the world is accounted by the Muslims, who have a population of 1.6 billion people. Of course, when you look at the populations across the Islamic world, the projections show that we are going to see a fast population increase until 2060. So 60% of the population aged from 19 to 29 constitutes 60% of the population. And these countries use more than 20 languages. We're talking about an artificial, in that sense, structure, artificial barriers. Also, Hanafi sects and other sects are also part of this spectrum. When we say the Islamic world, we're talking about 18 sea borders and important transit points, including the Hormuz Strait, Istanbul Strait, Hormuz Strait, and Al-Jabra. Here, the Islamic world also has over 250 rivers, Nile, Jehun, many other rivers can be referred to here. They are important contributors of fresh water. And here, of course, we can say that these rivers meet the food and vegetable and fruit requirements of the people living here while contributing to internal and external trade. Also, petrol, gas, oil, and many other raw materials are vastly accounted for by the Islamic states. Another important characteristic of the Islamic world is that they are becoming the crisis spots. Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Palestine, Yemen can be cited as examples of it. Another common trait of the Islamic community is that they have Islamic heritage by Islamic scholars who were interested in space. Of course, land and marine power elements come together in space endeavors. And here, as a matter of fact, these countries have boundaries or borders with the seas, and I think they have a more convenient ground to conduct research on the seas. Similarly, the International Confederation, Islamic Confederation, can be formed with a military aspect and geographical aspect. And here we know that these are essential elements to be able to create such a unity. When we look at the economic and nuclear power, we can say that these powers are trying to govern the worlds with such means. So Islamic geography is of paramount importance in that sense. We have many research activities referring to the geopolitical position of the Islamic world. And the Islamic community has a central position in all of them. In, in terms of sea activity, etc. I mean, the French, like Sandre, through conducts geopolitical studies, and they highlight the importance of the Islamic geography, all the way from Asia to Britannia should be controlled in air, sea, and land aspects. Whoever does that will assume superiority. So that actor can take the international trade under control, and no single government can achieve that. Or an outsider, an external power cannot achieve that per se. We need a country who will bring about a change in all this geography for the sake of a unity. And we need to establish a confederation to achieve that. We can look at the geopolitics on 5 pillars. We need to have a center. Second, we need to have a cultural and civilization aspect. Third, economic element. And here we need to exchange IT and technological infrastructure as the other pillars. So when we think about these standards in terms of the Islamic geography, the Republic of Turkey seems to be the country to assume such a position as it has more competencies. And all the Islamic countries will definitely benefit from such a confederation. But we see that Turkey will probably be more active in such an initiative. That's why we need to create a web of economy and power, which includes many countries from Turkmen in Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan to other parts of the world. We need to create an economic alliance between them as they have domestic resources and the infrastructure to tap the potential. Also, to further develop these countries, such an alliance need to be improved further and replicated in other areas, including security and defense. And this project will inevitably present certain challenges locally or internationally. Decision mechanisms will encounter conflicts, will see opposition from internal politics or differences of social perspectives. All of these factors will have an important impact. But we highlighted the sort of contribution to be benefited by these countries. By the way, certain countries may not give up on certain geopolitical considerations like Iran. Iran, for example, geopolitics need to be discussed with Iran. And here we need to pay attention to the international powers when we talk about challenges, especially the United Nations, the European Union may see it as a threat, geographically speaking, strategically speaking, and that will mean a challenging process for all of us. However, we need to see that there are plenty of opportunities to accomplish these targets. France and all other countries, in a nutshell, make us say, well, the solutions are possible by being more active, historically or culturally speaking, being more active